Very good morning, students. Today we shall discuss about the concept of gender. Dear students, the gender refers to the roles and responsibilities of men and women that are created in our families, our societies, and our cultures. The concept of gender also includes the expectations held about the characteristics, aptitudes, and likely behaviors of both men and women. That is, femininity and even masculinity. So, gender roles and expectations are learned. So, they can change over time and they vary within the between cultures. Systems of social, see, that called a differentiation, such as a political status, classes, ethnicity, physical and even mental disability, age, and even more. So, modify gender's roles. So, the concept of gender is a bit because applied to social analysis, and it reveals how women's subordinations is socially constructed, and as such the subordination can be changed or ended. So it is not only biological, what do you call that term, predetermined, nor it is a fixed forever. So actually the term sex describes the biological differences between men and women, which are universal and even determined at birth. So the gender analysis is the collection and even analysis of sex disaggregate called information. So the men and women both perform different roles. This leads to women and even men having different experiences, knowledges, talents, and even needs. So gender analysis explores. So these differences so policies, programs, and projects can identify and even just meet the different needs of men and even women. So gender analysis also the facilitates that strategies, use of distinct knowledge and even skill possessed by women and men. There is a concept is called gender equality. So what is the meaning of actually gender equality? So gender equality means that the women and men have equal conditions for realizing their full human rights and for contributing to. So and even what do you call for that? Benefiting from economic, social, cultural, and even political development. Maybe I think in our last, my earlier period, just I told that the rights of the women, especially under the consideration of the Indian Constitution. So that gender equality is therefore the equal valuing by society of the similarities and the differences of men and women. And see the roles of what they play. So it is based on women and men being full partners in their home, their community, and even their society. So then what is the term of gender equity? So actually it is a process of being fair to men and women. So to ensure the fairness measures must often be put in the place to compensate for the historical and even social disadvantages, so that prevent women and men from operating on a level playing field. So equity means it is equality is the final result. So once again there is a term is called next empowerment. So it is about people, both women and men, taking control over these lives, setting their own agendas, gaining skills, building self-confidence, solving problems, and even developing self-reliance. Self-reliance in the means you should not depend on somebody else. No one can empower another, so only the individual can empower herself or himself to make choices or to speak out. However, the institutions, including international cooperation agencies, can support processes that can nurture self-empowerment of individual or groups. Actually, there is a what do you call mainstreaming implementation of framework on gender, especially by the UNESCO. So that is called gender division of labor. Is the result how actually each society divides work among men and among women according to what actually is considered suitable or appropriate to each gender. So women in the development sense, WID. Women in development means WID respectively. So the WID approach aims to integrate women into the existing development process by targeting them. So often in women specific activities. So women are usually passive what do you call them? Recipients in especially WID projects. So which often emphasize making women more efficient producers and even increasing their income. Although many WID projects have import health, income or resources in the very short term, so because they did not transfer unequal relationships, very significant number were not sustainable, and even a very common shortcoming of WID projects is they do not consider women as multiple roles, or that they miscalculate of the time and even labor. So and another is the such project tend to buy blind to men's rural responsibilities in women's disempowerment especially. So the biggest difference between the WID and even GID, that's called WID in the projects means very traditionally were not grounded in comprehensive gender special analysis. So the GID approach gender analysis driven. GID in the sense gender analysis driven. So gender and development, especially gender and development, GAD. So gender and the development in the sense approach focuses on intervening to address unequal gender relation which prevent inequitable development and which often lack women out of full participation. So that means GAD seeks to have both women and men participate, make decisions and even share benefits. So this approach often aims at meeting practical needs as well as promoting strategies interest. So as well, it's called a successful GAD approach requires a sustained long-term commitment. Now the question is just called gender mainstreaming. What do you mean by gender mainstreaming? So gender mainstreaming is the process rather than a goal efforts to integrate gender into existing institutions of the mainstream. So may actually have little value for their own sake. So we mainstream gender concerns to achieve gender equality and even improve the relevance of development agendas, such as approach shows that the cost of women's marginalization and even gender inequalities are both borne by all. So gender responsive objectives are program and even project objectives that are non-discriminatory, equally benefit women and men and aim at correcting gender imbalances. So with this, just I conclude a discussion on gender, the concept of gender, maybe a framework. So in my next bit, once again I shall bring very new concept. Thank you very much.